Hey everybody, MacMan here with a review of the demo for a 2D platformer called Wisteria. This platformer was designed by Candy Pro Games, which is actually a one-man studio. This person is known online as the ultra-healthy video game nerd, the same guy who uncovered Hong Kong 97. And his demo for the game just released about a week ago, and I'm going to be showing you the pros and cons of it and how it's coming along and my thoughts about it. So let's get started. To start off, this game is an 80s and 90s style Japanese 2D platformer, with the titular character Wisteria going through several worlds to get to the end and beat the boss. This game isn't super heavily story featured, but it does have some pretty good 2D cutscenes that have beautiful artwork on them, but you can always skip them if you want to. The game revolves around an interesting rock-paper-scissors type concept for its combat. You have 3 attacks, and these 3 attacks all have different colors associated with them: red, white, and blue. Each of these colors have different effects depending on the color of the enemy that you're attacking. For example, hitting a red enemy with a red attack results in you bouncing back, while hitting a red enemy with a white attack causes them to take damage. However, if you're playing on easy difficulty, hitting a red enemy with a blue attack will do nothing, but on ultra hard, it will cause you to actually take damage yourself. So this interesting concept can lead to a lot of different gameplay ideas, which I'll discuss later. Apart from that, it's your standard 2D platformer. You can jump, you can slide, it controls pretty tight. Overall, very good. But there's also one additional feature, and that is the magic. And this is where the other interesting aspect of the gameplay comes in. Magic comes in 3 forms, similar to his attacks. You have either a light beam, fireballs, or these blue tornadoes. These all are technically able to be used infinitely, but they do have a caveat. They remove time from the timer. Now this game, as inspired by a 80s and 90s style platformer, has a timer. But this timer is actually important because every time you use magic, depending on the difficulty level, you will either use 15 or 30 seconds. So with this, you will want to use your magic conservatively, and in general, just try and use your swings. So now we'll get into the level design and the graphics. The graphics overall are amazing. They're beautifully done, great 2D sprite work, backgrounds are great, levels are all fantastic. The music, I mean, just listen to it. It's amazing. The sound effects are good, nothing special but pretty good, and overall the level design is pretty smart. In general, the level design is spot on. It's a very difficult game. Even on the easiest difficulty, you will be given a challenge, so it is recommended that you play on easy first. But this is a good, challenging game. The level design has many interesting components to it. For example, in this one scene, there's a gap. To get across it, a simple jump will not make it. So what do? Well, on the left side, an enemy comes by. Now, if you remember what I said earlier, if you hit that enemy with the same colored attack, you will bounce off it, and in turn, you'll make it across the ledge. Interesting gameplay concepts like this allow you to platform your way in ways that make you think. You can even use the same color to bounce on top of an enemy. Overall, this was extremely well thought out, and I have to give credit for the developer. This demo comes with 2 levels, and these 2 levels are well done, challenging, and a joy to play. However, there are some criticisms I have of this game, as well as some bugs and glitches that definitely need to be worked out. However, since this is a demo, this is the perfect time to tell them. So for starters, one of the biggest game-breaking bugs that I found almost immediately upon playing the game is that the so-called limited magic that you have is technically not limited. See, every time you use magic, it uses up time. However, you swap between the magic by hitting the shoulder button. If you keep hitting the shoulder button while you're using the magic once, the timer won't go down, but you will continually swap through your attacks repeatedly, and no time ever goes out. In a normal gameplay, this isn't too game-breaking, but against a boss, this is extremely game-breaking and pretty much makes every boss a pushover. Not only does this mean you have wide access to your attacks, infinite range essentially, but you also have invincibility. Every time you use magic, you are invincible for the duration of the animation. and if you spam the attacks like I'm showing here, you are invincible the entire time. This is a glitch that definitely needs to be fixed as soon as possible. Without it, every boss will simply be a joke to play against. Also, in terms of magic, the fact that you can't use magic in the air confuses me. It feels a little bit clunky. In my opinion, I think you should be able to use magic in the air. However, this is up to the developer's discretion. Otherwise, there are only some small nitpicks I have with this game. For example, when you're jumping on an enemy using the same color attack, I find that the timing is very strict, almost to a fault. When I was first starting to learn how to play, I kept hitting the enemy over and over by mistake and getting damaged. The window is extremely tight. I don't know how many frames to be precise, but you definitely need to be extremely precise to get the hit. And I think that the window to be able to bounce off an enemy from the top should be increased by about a couple frames. In addition, another complaint I have with the game is the random enemies. Now, random enemies also means that you have to use different attacks every time you play through the level, and that's interesting. However, in certain sections like you see here, it's almost impossible to get through because while one attack will defeat another enemy, another attack might accidentally make you bounce away. In one instance, you could be attacked by 3 different enemies, all different colors, resulting in you killing one enemy, hurting yourself on another one, and being bounced off the platform on another one, killing you. To further compound this issue, enemies respawn when you beat them, like in this instance. So even if you try to attack one enemy at a time, they'll just keep coming, and eventually, you're just gonna get screwed over. Now, this is all just down to bad luck, but I think this is something that definitely should be looked into. My only other complaint is that the second stage doesn't run very well for whatever reason. Now, I have a pretty powerful PC. I can run Ark Survival Evolved on epic settings and not have any significant frame issues. However, in Stage 2, I would encounter frequent instances where the game would literally just freeze for 5 seconds and then go back. And then when I first started playing Stage 2 for the first time, the game's frame rate dropped significantly, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it was a part on my computer, but like I said, I have a powerful computer. I have 16 gigs of RAM, I have an NVIDIA GTX 1060 graphics card, so for a game like this, that should not be a problem. So this is definitely something that I think should be looked into. In addition, after this occurred to me, there was a new option on the menu, in the main menu. Upon clicking on it, it crashes my game every single time and leaves this message on the screen. Now, if the developer is watching and wants to see this and wants any input from me, I will be glad to give you the information from this crash screen. Apart from that, I just hope that this gets fixed in the final game. Apart from these criticisms, this is a wonderful game. It was a lot of fun when I played it. I played this game for about an hour, and I had a blast with the 2 levels that were there. I think it has a lot of potential, and if these issues are fixed, Violet Wisteria will be a great little platformer, and I think that Candy Pro Games has a great future. So thank you very much for watching. If you like reviews like this, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to do more of them. Apart from that, make sure you like the video, watch my other videos, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.